Welcome to the road to 1 million US dollars. Let's get right into the Bitcoin chart for today, because right now on this 1 day time frame, we are pretty close to reaching all-time highs for Bitcoin. So this is an insane moment, especially if you have been following the channel over the last 6 months or so. While we were in this choppy sideways price action, in this descending channel pattern that we have been trading for, like I said, about 6 months, ever since I started this YouTube channel. Now, in the case that you missed it, the base case on this channel the entire time has been that we would chop inside this descending channel for quite a bit of time. And even though the bears were extremely bearish at the lows here, saying that the bear market had already started, I stuck to my trading strategy of just trading the range, buying the range lows over and over again, selling the range highs over and over again. And the base case has been this entire time that eventually we would break out of the top of this descending channel and likely reach new all-time highs. And where are we today, guys? We are at 72.9K for the Bitcoin price. So honestly, this is a pretty surreal moment. And I just wanted to come in hot with this video here to say thank you for following me in this journey here of me just trading this range and sharing my analysis with you guys every single day over the past like 220 days or something like that. Now, of course, a big part of the base case on this channel here was that eventually we would come to grab that big level of liquidity sitting at about 72,000 US dollars for the Bitcoin price. And we can see it right here. We had about $30 billion worth of short liquidations at this 72.3K level. And we have now taken out this biggest bucket of liquidity here. So over $30 billion worth of short positions got liquidated. And as I said, guys, even when we were trading at these lows at around 49K for the Bitcoin price, where we just barely held on to this descending channel level of support on the 1 day time frame, even then I was saying I think it would be very uncharacteristic for Bitcoin not to punish people that are shorting Bitcoin in the middle of a bull run. And here we are today trading close to all-time highs. I just wanted to point out this 4-hour time frame as well to just send my condolences to any of the bears who have been shorting Bitcoin over the last couple days, because this pump has just been absolutely relentless. So I really hope you either set a stop loss or you are not trading on cross leverage, because this has been brutal if you have been shorting this with any leverage whatsoever. So now it's time to stop this victory lap here. Obviously, you guys can tell that I'm very excited about this, but let's now dive into some actual technical analysis for Bitcoin like we do every day here. The first thing that I think is noteworthy is that there is a difference between the all-time high in terms of a wick and in terms of a actual candle close. So as you can see right here, the 1 day candle close is actually at 73,080 US dollars. And in terms of the actual all-time high, that is sitting at about 73.8K. So for the daily close later today in about 5 hours or so, then you can look towards this 73.1K level, roughly speaking. And for the actual all-time high, if we actually break out above 73.8K, that would be the most insane, because then we are actually setting a new all-time high here. So if we now objectively look at this 1 day time frame, you can see that this is basically breakout, retest, resumption out of this descending channel here. Besides that, if I take a look at this 1 day time frame for Bitcoin, we have a cup and handle pattern here on the 1 day time frame that similarly also got a breakout, retest, resumption from there. Currently trading at about 73K, roughly speaking, but the price target for this pattern here is actually 79.5K, roughly speaking. So almost 80,000 US dollars for the Bitcoin price. And technically speaking, so long as we do not invalidate this pattern by trading below the point of the breakout, technically speaking, we are actually targeting 80,000 US dollars for the Bitcoin price. Now, besides that, we also have this broadening wedge pattern here that I was talking about somewhat recently as well. At the time, we were trading like right here, and I was saying, okay, there is technically speaking some limited room to the upside for this pattern specifically in the short term, because we were basically trading right at the top of that pattern. However, we are currently trading well above it. So I guess the level to look out for this pattern here would be about 69,000 US dollars, where if we break below that, then we are basically just trading back inside this broadening wedge, and it would technically be a failed breakout almost. Now, as I said in the members section on my channel, I was talking about this weekly time frame for Bitcoin, and as you can see, we got a breakout above these previous highs. Then on the weekly time frame, we simply came back down to retest this purple box right here, then flip that into a level of support, and now we are just blasting off to the upside from there. So yeah, my analysis there is also just playing out as expected. Now, I actually want to dive into the short term here for Bitcoin just a little bit, because obviously when we are trading around these all-time highs, it can get a little sketchy. So considering that we are already in deep overbought territory for Bitcoin on this 4-hour time frame, that is something quite serious to keep in mind. But obviously, as you can tell by this insane momentum to the upside, I would not this is not financial advice, but I would not recommend shorting a move to the upside like this. Even if you are actually correct, you are shorting into some insane bullish momentum, so you have no idea if it just turns around like that and completely liquidates your trade there. Either way, obviously look towards these previously mentioned levels here as some potential short-term levels of resistance on this 4-hour time frame perhaps. But besides that, we can also start looking at some Bitcoin Fibonacci extensions here. So if we take this recent swing high to swing low on that 4-hour time frame, you can see that we have now broken out above that 1.618 Fibonacci level, sitting at about 70.9K. One thing that is actually quite beautiful on this 1-hour time frame as well is that we broke above, then chopped around sideways, building a little base here exactly on that Fibonacci level, got one last touch with it, and then blasted off to the upside even further. Either way, getting back to this 4-hour time frame, of course, we do have that all-time high that I was talking about earlier in the video. So that is kind of like the next level of resistance to look out for. After that, if we are really breaking the all-time high, then look towards this 2.618 Fibonacci level, sitting at about 74.2K for the Bitcoin price, because this would be the next short-term level of resistance after that. But hey, things can get pretty crazy if we actually end up breaking the all-time high. So yeah, we might start getting some more serious pumps to the upside, but I don't want to be like turbo bullish in the short term while the RSI is already at 84, which is something quite rare to see on that 4-hour time frame. So obviously long term, I'm still bullish. We also have a clear price target of 80K, but I don't want to tell you guys that it is just going to shoot up to 80,000 US dollars in one straight line here. So as always, I will continue to be objective in the charts and to show you guys all the things I'm looking out for in the charts right now, and you can do with that information what you like. Lastly, taking a look at the Bitcoin ETF flow tables for today, we saw another close to $500 million worth of Bitcoin being bought in a single day, with most of the inflows coming from the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF. So obviously, so long as these Bitcoin ETFs keep buying hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin every single weekday, this will continue to have an upwards pressuring effect on the Bitcoin price. The only thing that currently slightly concerns me on, for example, this 1-day time frame is that we have a CME gap right here at about 67.2K. Now, currently, we are obviously just seeing some violent bullish momentum. So yeah, I don't want to be talking about shorting or anything right now, obviously. However, if now some reversal signals start to show up in the short term, perhaps some bearish divergences or something like that, perhaps some other bearish signals showing up, then this could be a potential price target for that bearish move to the downside in order to fill that CME gap. But of course, when you're in a pump like this, you don't know when that bearish move is going to come, because it can turn around right now, or it can actually hit 80,000 US dollars and then get a bit of a pullback, right? So that is the danger of trying to short when Bitcoin is pumping like this. Either way, this has been today's market update. If my channel has helped you at all over the last 6 months or so and you want to give back in a way, I heard some people talk about this. So you can become a YouTube channel member. It's about $5 a month and you can get access to some members only videos. I typically create some longer term analysis videos where I do the type of analysis that I don't typically do in my day-to-day videos. So if that is something that you're interested in, I just uploaded one about 8 days ago. Either way, if you do end up becoming a member or not, thank you for watching once again, and I will see you tomorrow in the next one.